All right, so as I just explained to you guys, one of our community members has requested, CDome, can you do a keybind review to show me what you do for mouse and keyboard and why? And yes, shout out to RM Player. We sure can do that. Thank you for requesting it. Let's just go through some of my keybinds. Now, look, this is obviously just like an obvious disclaimer. I'm not a pro player. A lot of my keybinds aren't going to be probably what you optimally should do and use. This is just what I do. This is what's comfortable for me. What I always tell you guys is same thing when picking your guns and picking your attachments and stuff, regardless of what videos I do to show you what the best attachments are, what the best gun, use what's the most comfortable for you, right? So use what keybinds work the best for you, where your hands feel the most comfortable, your fingers can reach the most comfortably, all that kind of stuff. A little backstory, I came from console, right? So I'm a console player my whole life. Around 2019, I switched to mouse and keyboard for the first time, specifically for PUBG. So I played like almost 2 years of PUBG on controller. That's where I was comfortable. So I had to transition to a mouse and keyboard and learn all the new keys. So here's what I choose and why I choose it. And then maybe at the end of this demonstration, you guys can let me know what keys you choose if they're different than mine and why, and let everyone else know down below, because maybe something I use isn't really what you would want to use, but maybe with something that you guys use can help some of the other community members out as well. Okay, so let's go to controls, and we'll just do here's a quick controls thing. So this is just all my in-game sensitivities. I use 400 DPI, which, disclaimer, probably shouldn't use 400 DPI. Now that I learn having a higher DPI means less input lag. So if I were to do it again and learn from scratch, I'd probably have 1600 DPI, I think is probably what I would do, and then adjust these things from there. But if you adjust your DPI, you have to adjust all this. There's online calculators you can use to kind of convert that stuff properly for you. But so that's just a disclaimer. I run 400 DPI, general 53, vert sense 1.5, aim sensitivity 51, ADS 40, and then all scopes 42. Some people like to do different sensitivities for different scopes. I think in terms of muscle memory, it's probably not the best idea, because depending on what size scope you have, you could have to move your arm more or less, or your wrist if you're a wrist player. I have a big mouse pad. That's why I have a low DPI, and I have like a big big room for movement rather, my mouse. Okay. All right. So that's that. Here's my keybinds. Can I maybe move my camera real quick? Sorry. So this will probably be a little better for you guys on this one. So my crouch, I use toggle. So toggle with crouch. Prone is toggle, walk is hold, and walk, by the way, is going to be this. So if you just hold W, you're walking, and slow walk is holding, in my case, I'll get to it, but I have it on my mouse. So I can slow my walk down my mouse. By default, that'll be the control key. But I have it on hold, so you have to actually, hold the key down to always move. Sprint is toggle, so I just hit it once, and then boom, I'm off to the races, and I can just hold W and it'll always be sprinting. There's goods and bads with this. A quick TLDR on why or why not you wouldn't want this is because you ever had this scenario, you're in a warehouse, you're trying to climb on top of a box, but the character vaults over it instead of climbing like that. Like he'll just vault right over the box. He does that if you have sprinting enabled at the moment that you vault the box, okay? So as a rule of thumb, you don't want to be actively sprinting when you're trying to climb on top of something, because if you are sprinting, if you have sprint toggled, or if you're holding shift to sprint, your character will first attempt to vault directly over the object. So that's not going to show you. This will just get in anyway. Yeah, I'd have to have one of those boxes to show you, okay? But so anyway, so if you have it on toggle, that could mess you up. You could be in a building, and even though you're sitting still, you're not sprinting. Toggle or sprint is toggled, and if you have it toggled when you're on a box, you'll vault over the box instead of climbing on top of the box. So you have to hit shift to untoggle sprint, and then he would climb on top of it. Okay, so just a little tidbit there. Free look, that's just gonna, I have it on hold, so that's holding the alt key to free look. That's where your character stays still, but your head of your character will move. So that's very important to be able to do that, because if you are prone in a bush, if you're trying to be a sneaky boy, you guys know I like to be a bush rat. You're trying to be a sneaky boy and you want to look around. If you are not holding the alt key and you keep turning, your body will turn eventually with you, and that will obviously give your position away. So it's ideal that you hold the Alt key and you look as much as you can without turning your body, okay? So that's why I have free look on that. Hold breath is on hold, so that's, you know, hold the shift key to hold your breath. When you're ADS'd, even with a red dot, or even without, or even just the iron sight, I could probably just show you actually instead of telling you. That'd be smarter, right? So here's that sight 6x. Okay, so no sight. Your gun is going to have a natural amount of sway where the gun is just going to kind of move a little bit. And if you hold your breath, it'll zoom in a bit on your iron sight and it'll slow down your weapon sway. That's why it's important to hold breath when you're taking shots, because it will make you more accurate. But you'll see down at the bottom, once you're out of breath and you guys, there's a bit of an extra wiggle when you're out of breath. So you want to make sure not to deplete all your breath. Just hold it just for a little bit and then let go before it's depleted, okay? That also applies for a scope. So your scope is going to naturally move a bit. And then if you hold breath, now your scope's not going to move anywhere near as much, okay? So that's why you'd want a keybind for hold breath. Canted Sight, I have it on toggle, so I just have mine on Alt right click. So I hold Alt and I hit right click, hold Alt, hit right click, hold Alt, hit right click, hold Alt. So that's my toggle Canted Sight. Peek, I have mine on hold. What is this other? Double tap? I never even knew there's a double tap option, to be honest. So I have mine on hold, and that's just simply leaning. But I think it's perfect to have it on hold. Some people might want different, but that's what I do. So if I'm just going to be, you know, crouching or whatever around a tree, I want to be able to stay ADS and just kind of boom, boom, boom. Just going to tap it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Hold, let go, hold, let go, hold, let go. Okay. Map, toggle, that's pretty self-explanatory. Just M for map, you know. Aim. Now, this is two different things here. Aim and ADS. These are important to know the difference of. Aim over the shoulder as a toggle or hold, but it's not just over the shoulder, okay? So right now, look at my crosshairs. Specifically the size of my crosshair. This is called hip fire, okay? This is hip fire. What I'm about to do is hold my aim key. When I hold my aim key, you're going to see my crosshairs tighten a little bit. And that's called AIM, aim. That's going to make my shot more accurate, and it will make my character walk more slowly, which will make less noise as well. Okay, so watch my crosshairs. Aim at a shadow, you can see it better. See how they get tighter? So hip fire, aim fire. Hip fire, aim fire. And then you can see it visually. If I'm moving, this is just regular walking, and now I'm going to hold the aim key. Holding aim, regular walking, holding aim, and look at my crosshairs. Regular walking, holding aim. So if you're in TPP mode, this applies to you as well. Holding the aim is also going to, you know, increase your accuracy significantly. So if you ever see somebody hip fire very accurately, they are always holding the aim key when they hip fire. Because if you're just like walking like this, you're just spraying everywhere. But if you're walking like this, you're walking more slowly, but you're way more accurate with your shots, okay? And then obviously ADS is aiming down sight. That's going to be physically aiming down the reticle of whatever sight you're using, okay? So ADS, aim, ADS, aim. That also applies to vehicles. Can I spawn a vehicle in this mode? Okay, so same thing. So if you're in the passenger seat and you want to you know, do a little drive-by or something like that, you can simply hold your aim key and your character will get out in the passenger seat. So here, I'm going to hold aim, and now I'm out of the car. I'm able to shoot relatively accurately. Of course, you could also just ADS. You're going to be more accurate, but it takes a little bit longer to do that. All right, so obviously WASD is my movement. Walk is on caps lock. I have walk and I have aim on caps lock, okay? Caps lock. So I'll get to that in a second, but I have both of those in the same key to do what I just told you guys. So walk and aim tighter is on caps lock, and I have that reprogrammed to my mouse. So on my mouse, I have multiple buttons on the side. This one small one right here is my thumb button. That's where my thumb would rest. I have that as my aim key, which is also caps lock, which is also slow walk, okay? All All right, sprint, I have it on shift. I think that's everyone's kind of standard. Again, mine is on toggle. Some people might want hold or toggle, whatever. Jump vault. This was one of those things that I had to change when I first started because it was messing me up. By default, this is going to be on the same key. Jump vault. That means if you want to jump or vault, you use the same key. That can obviously get you into some serious trouble if you are trying to jump over something and your character by default also tries to clamber it and vault over it. Okay, so I separated those keys. Mine is a spacebar for jump, V for vault. Okay, so spacebar for jump, V for vault. That's what I use. Crouch is C, prone is Z, interact, pick up is F. Limited interact is for things like doing the hold H. Can I do it in the slope? I might not even be able to do it in the slope. Okay, that's funny. I won't even do it in the slope. But you know, like when you can pick up your teammate, if your teammate's knocked, let's say hold H to pick them up, doing the buddy vaulting mechanic. Yeah, I guess I can't even do it in this mode. But you know, I would hold H and he'd put his hands and go, are you ready for a boost? And I could boost my teammate up. If I was above my teammate, you know, you could crouch, hold H, and he would reach down to pull him up or whatever. Toggle perspective, so to change from TPP to FPP. Obviously, if you don't play TPP, then it doesn't really matter. But if you do, then you'll want to be able to toggle between both quickly. I think the default is backspace. And while that's fine, in the heat of battle, that's not fine. And so I have that to control. My left pinky is going to hit that control key. And I can swap between those two if I need to very quickly. And then that also is useful for even if you play FPP. At the end of the game, when you get your chicken dinner, the game unlocks the camera perspective and you can swap to TPP to celebrate. Auto run, mine's on equal key or numlock. That's just where you can literally hit it and your character's just gonna run in that direction. And it does not care if you have shift to sprint on or off. It'll just automatically go as fast as you can. This is also a fun little nifty feature for driving vehicles, especially like boats in the water where you don't have to make any turns. You can get in it and literally just hit numlock and it's going to go full gas all the way. It won't apply boost. You still have to hold shift to apply boost in the vehicle. But right now I'm not doing any W key. I'm just A and D to steer. So it's going to go full gas the whole time. Okay. Free look, I think I already talked about that. I hold my alt key, my left alt key with my pinky, right? So if I'm in this mode, I say my pinky, maybe it's my thumb. Yeah, I guess I kind of do my thumb. My thumb is left alt, and that's to free look, like that. Swimming, swim up is space bar, just to, you know, come out of the water. Hold C to dive under the water. Fun fact, when you swim under the water, you swim faster, but you use breath. World map, M, spawn tool, that's just like in this mode. Pull that up. Mark my location is insert. Delete my marker is delete. So if you have like your ping on the map and your teammate's like, dude, can you delete your ping? Like your ping's on the window and I can't see the enemy. You can just hit delete. Well, it's supposed to delete. That's weird. Okay, well, maybe it doesn't work in this training mode, but delete would delete that in the real mode. Extended minimap, that's just to blow up the minimap at the bottom a little bit, which can be useful while you're driving. You don't want to pull up your whole map while you're driving. You can just pull that small minimap up, get a better lay of the land. As I use that to N. So that's right next to my M key. Here we go. Inventory is tab. Inventory radio message. So that's if I want to ping an item. So like if, you know, there's a gun or somebody's looking for something, I can just ping it. With my mouse, I scroll up on my mouse and I click that, and you know, a little prompt says, hey, here's the AKM. It lets my teammates know what it is. Same thing, like scopes and whatever, I can ping it. Ping that form. Attachments, you can ping that form. Okay. Select item quantity, left control. So that's if I want to go to ammo. Oh, this is okay. There's no ammo in this mode. I think I can do boost items. This will work, right? So if I want to spare some of these in my teammate, I hold control and then I can right click on the item and it'll tell me, hey, how many do you want to drop for your teammate? Or I can hold control and drag it out of my inventory. So hold control and then drag it out of my inventory on the ground, and that message will pop up. Hey, how do you, how many do you want to drop? And you just tell you drop. Okay. So that's the quantity option that works for ammo, heals, whatever. Throwable items wheel. Okay. These are actually, I think, really important for me. A lot of Like OG pro mouse and keyboard players probably don't utilize this at all. At least not like the streamers I watch. But for me, this is one of those things that really helped me because learning mouse and keyboard is tough, and having a wheel helped me out a lot. So throwable wheel is G, and the healing item wheel is that little tilde key, whatever the hell that is over there. So I have those reprogrammed, right? So G is grenades, and the tilde thing is the heals. I have those programmed on my mouse. So this is the Logitech G502X, and it has 2 top side buttons. So if I can get a close, maybe close image of you. So see those 2 top side ones here and here? These front 2. The most front one is my heal wheel, and the back one is my grenade wheel. And so I do have a keybind for frag grenades. It's Q. I can quickly pull out frag grenades, but I usually just use this wheel. Boom, get those. There you go. Now why I say pro players usually don't do that is because it's said that you should have a keybind, you know, for all those, which I do. I have like 5 is medkit, 6 is first aid, 7 is bandage, like a quick keybind for those heal items. I just don't ever think to use it, honestly, in the game, and I just do this. Is it slower? Yes. Should you have a keybind directly for those quick items? Yes. Yes, you should, but I don't. It's just easier for me to do that, and I'm not a pro player, okay? So that's what I do. Okay, here we go. Action wheel is F4. Here, your emote wheel. I just have the F4, then I scroll around with my mouse, whatever, you know. Big deal there, right? Toggle UI. So if you want to turn off your UI for funsies, Control U. That's important in replay mode. If I'm trying to get like pictures and stuff like that for you guys, I'll do Control U, turn the UI off. Toggle key guide is Alt K. So Alt K. Keybinds, well, my head's blocking it now, but over here, the keybinds there. So Alt K, and you can turn those on or off. I obviously have those off. I'm a gamer, don't need that. Settings is O. Okay, chat window is Enter if you want to chat to people. All the emotes, I don't have any keybinds for that. Sounds, I do have a keybind for this. So sounds and chat. Voice chat input is, so this is a bug that I get. Some people might not get this too. I have to hold down my middle mouse. Like my middle mouse button is a click, right? I can click it in, not like scroll it, click it in. If I hold it down, that's how I do all chat. So if I'm playing with random teammates, or if I want to talk to people in the lobby with me, I hold that down for all chat. Sometimes when I let it go, my in-game voice is still going through to my teammates or my enemies next to me. And like Bob will tell me, like, CDome, you're still talking in all chat, but I'm not holding any keybinds. Sometimes I do get a bug with that. I don't know what that is, but maybe it's because I have that keybind set to that. You do have to actually change what your voice chat is though. So like you can, like I hold control and hit T to mute voice chat. So nobody in the game can hear me. Unmute so that everybody can hear me and I can hear everybody else. And then you can also do Control Y, and that can change your voice channel. So all is everybody. Team only is just your teammates. None is nobody. Okay. So that's my audio voice comms. Control M is master mute. Big one here is here. Instant volume sound reducer, F7. So right now I have it turned on. See this little headphone icon? That means it's on. It reduces your sounds in game based on whatever percentage you do. So like right now, hear the vehicle. Now I'm gonna hit it. Now it's way lower, right? So I'm gonna hit it, turn it on or off, and back off. Okay, and you can adjust this now in PUBG. You can go to settings, audio, instant volume sound reducer intensity. You can turn it up all the way, and barely does anything, or you can turn that literally down to whatever, freaking 10%. And you can barely hear the game anymore. So if you're in a car and you're like, dude, this freaking shit's too loud, you hit F7 based on whatever your setting is, and it'll reduce that audio. Mine, I think I just keep the default to 50%, just so I can still hear a little bit what's going on, but it's not like, you know, breaking my eardrums. Okay, got it. Combat. Okay, combat. So fire, left click, right? Of course. Aim and ADS, those are separate. I would always recommend separate for that, for aim and ADS. For aim, I have it as 2 things, E or caps lock. This is really the key that I use, is caps lock. I probably should honestly delete the E one. I don't know why I use the E one. Maybe it's because when I lean on my mouse, right? If I lean on my mouse. Why do I do that? Yeah, I guess that would be what I'd do for. Yeah, okay, that is. So I have E also because I lean up. We'll get to that. I lean on my mouse, and when I'm leaning, not in FPS. When I'm leaning, if I want to hip fire, I need my thumb because I lean on both of my thumbs, or my one thumb hits both of the buttons to lean, and so I can't hold the thumb button to aim and hit all the lean buttons at the same time. So my thumb then can lean left, can lean right, and I can hold the aim key. Lean left, lean right, and I'm doing the aim key. So that's why I have it as both. Normally, I'm just using caps lock to aim, which is on my mouse thumb button, but I have E as the alternative if I'm leaning, swapping. ADS is right click. Alt Canted Sight is hold Alt right click. I showed you guys that already. Reload R, obviously. Next weapon, previous weapon, I deleted all those keys. That's usually where you would cycle up through weapons on your mouse. I don't do that. I have the keybinds for that. So, you know, 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. T is for throwables, and B is for firing mode. So to cycle to your firing mode, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, you know, etc. So that should be pretty self-explanatory. Peek left, peek right. So this is a big one. I don't recommend this. If you're new to mouse and keyboard, this is going to help you, but I don't recommend it, okay? The reason why I don't recommend it is because it will have the potential to throw your aim off, all right? So I lean left on my mouse and I lean right on my mouse. The reason why I say it's not good, it's a noob setting to have, is because while you're leaning, you're making small inputs to your mouse. You're barely moving your mouse, but it is moving, okay? And so your aim is going to be slightly affected. And if you want to be a real gamer and do the lean spam like people do in PUBG, you're going to have your aim constantly moving a little bit because you're constantly moving your mouse. And so that's why you're supposed to lean on Q and E. I just couldn't get that when I first started, and it was too hard. So I said, F it, give me the cheat way out. And this was way easier for me, but it is a crutch. So if you can learn properly, learn on Q and E. Some people reverse them. Like some people have E to lean left and Q to lean right, as opposed to the default, which is Q leans left, E leans right. But that's what I do. Again, I'm not a pro player. Don't do exactly what I do. It's just what I do. Holster weapons is X. So that's if you want to put your guns away, which is important if you want to run faster in PUBG. You can put your guns away unless you have an SMG. If you have an SMG, you're on the same speed as no guns in your hand, because PUBG loves balancing SMGs that way. I do have a quick keybind for frag grenade, Q. I used to have stun grenades on E, or smoke grenades on E rather, but I deleted that once I did the aim addition to E, what I just explained. It's a good idea to have some of these on a quick bind, especially frags and smokes, because if you're in the middle of a team fight or a gunfight, you shoot somebody, they get behind cover, you know, it's only a split second that you do this and do that, but that is a split second where that guy could be healing, moving position. If you have a keybind like I do, Q, you can see it says no frag grenade, but if I have one, it would pull it out. Getting that grenade quick in your hand, you know, it can make the difference of you getting the kill or not. Same thing with the smoke grenade. If you get the smoke grenade in your hand quickly, you can throw it quicker and get cover quicker. Okay, so there is a min max to be had there if you want to be that, you know, that serious about it. All right, what else? Spike strips. For some reason, I have a keybind for that. RIP. They deleted spike strips though. Sticky bombs. I don't even know why I have these. Have got to be defaults. I don't know why I have that. Oh, I do have a keybind for C4 on purpose though. I do like that keybind. That's F1. No keybinds for those. No keybinds for those. That's actually kind of good. They have a keybind for that too. Wouldn't be a bad one. Inspect weapon is J. You want to be a gamer and inspect your beautiful weapon. Mine defaults to J. And you can now inspect weapons while you sprint too, which is kind of cool. Oh, this is another really important one. Radio message wheel. I think the default is F5. That's this right here. But why this is important is because this is how you put pings on the map. So while you're ADS'd, or you don't have to be ADS on PC, but you know, I think console doesn't let you do it while you're ADS'd, or there's some kind of stupid thing with that, like that on console. But while I am looking, I scroll up on my mouse wheel and that puts a ping down for my teammates. So if I'm like, oh, there's an enemy right here, boom, I put a ping down, and I don't have to shoot at them or whatever. My teammates know, like, they look up there and they say, oh, okay, the CDome's looking in this direction. If I say, oh, there's an enemy at this tree here, they can just like find my ping on their compass and go, oh, okay, that tree, got it. So that's a really important one to have. Helps your communication with your team, especially if your team doesn't use comms. That's an important one to do, radio message wheel. Scope, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in and out. That's just on my mouse wheel, which that does come into play here. So that is kind of like a double-edged sword. If I'm zooming in or zooming out, it's okay. But if I zoom in, it is going to put a message thing down for my team. So that is one negative to that. So just know that. Increase reticle type. So that's on scopes that you can change that while you're ADS. T and Y can cycle through these. T and Y can cycle through them, and there's a couple that have this option. So red dots have the option. Hollows, 3x and 4x, I believe, also now have the option. So, whoops, sorry. You can cycle through them. Cycle through those. Two different colors for that one. Cycle through those. 6x doesn't have anything. If you want to zero, oh yeah, zero your scope too, I guess. So at the bottom, you see it says 0, 100 to 500. So that's the same thing. T and Y, I have that on zeroing for 6x, 8x, and 15x. I don't honestly use the zeroing. I just kind of guesstimate after playing the game for 8 years, but zeroing can be helpful for people. Reticle brightness and reset your scope type. So you have this. If I change it to whatever I want, if I click my middle mouse button, it resets the default. I can cycle it back, reset the default. This is also useful for increasing the reticle brightness. So look at like my red dot, or in this case, my green dot. See how much brighter it is now? And then dim, and then bright, and then dim. So you can increase the brightness as you wish. Throwing stance, it's important. You need a keybind for this. That's going to be underhand or overhand throwing. You know, if you want to throw it close or throw it far. Cook a grenade, that's also important. So that's useful for multiple grenades. I don't think I can throw grenades in this training mode. No, but oh, you can do a frag grenade in this mode? I didn't know that. So I can use my mouse wheel to get my grenade, or I can just hit Q and pull my frag grenade out, okay? If I right click, you see my wheel is spinning. If that top thing is highlighted, that means I'm overhanding it. If the bottom one's highlighted, this one here, if it's thicker down here, that means I'm underhanding. So underhand, overhand, underhand, overhand. So underhand to roll it, obviously, you know, a little short throw, and then throwables. And then overhand to throw it far. If you want to throw it real far, you you know, jump throw it, little walk forward throw it kind of thing. All right, but what I was going to show you is the cooking it. So if you have it in your hand, you hit R, nothing happens right now. You have to be ready to throw it. So you hold left click as if you were going to throw it, okay? And if you hit R, now you get the grenade explosion timer. The reason why it's important to cook grenades is obviously because you can time when it's going to explode. But that's also really useful for smoke grenades. You can cook a smoke grenade in your hand. And when you cook a smoke grenade, you can, your character will drop it at your feet. So this is really cheeky if you're like in a spot where the grenade can easily roll off of a ledge. So like assume that you were like, you know, on a rocky ledge here. And if you were to underhand throw your smoke grenade, it might roll off the ledge. But if you hold R with the smoke grenade, it'll drop the grenade at your feet and the smoke will just start right here. So it basically eliminates the possibility for that grenade to roll out of position from where exactly you want it to be. So cheeky for that as well. I think I covered this. It's important to have healing items on a keybind hotkey. I don't use them, to be honest, but I know it's important to do it. In the middle of a fight, you just get res. You can quickly hit your medkit option as soon as you get up, medkit, or first aid, as opposed to having to go to your healing keybind or pull up tab, right click it, etc. The keybind is going to be instant, boom, start your heal, okay? We're on to vehicles. I have WASD, acceleration. Handbrake is spacebar. Vehicle jump is for bicycles. You know, the Huffy. You can hold spacebar to jump. Handbrake is for, you know, the e-brake. Boost is going to be obviously boost, your speed boost. Toggle ignition is super important. That's how you kill your engine in PUBG if you want to ghost ride up onto somebody. So super important. So you're surveying an area, right? You want to crash this compound. You got a lot of speed. You kill the engine at the top of the hill. Your car's making almost no noise as you roll into the compound, so you can kind of gain intel on what's going on before you pull in. So very important to have a kill engine keybind. You can also kind of combo that with different things. This is probably not part of this video, but you know, different pull-up strategies. You could kill engine and seat swap at the same time, so you're making no noise and you're pulling up ready to shoot people. So a little cheeky stuff you can do with that. Let me know if that kind of stuff interests you, and maybe I'll do another video like all about vehicles. Toggle music is F5. F6 is to change vehicle music, so that's to turn on and off the radio in the car. Oh, I didn't even know you could do this. Increase or decrease music volume. I had that apparently set to scroll up my mouse wheel. I literally never knew I could do that because I never turned the radio on. This is a super important one here. Air control, lean back and forward. Now, lean left and right, also important, but this is the most important thing. Lean back and forward. So this is something you need to have if you're going to ride like a motorcycle, okay? So if you go, but like dirt bikes, motorcycles, bicycles, etc., this all applies. And if you don't have this keybind set, you can die. You can just get a little air time and you'll die. So yeah, this is not weird. It's not doing it. So for some reason, the training mode, it breaks this keybind for me. But if I'm in the air, I hold my side mouse buttons and I would be able to control my lean. You see how my guy's like leaning left, leaning right? I could control front and back to do front flips or back flips, but that would also correct your landing. So if you're landing on your head, you'd be able to correct the leaning of the character so that you don't land like this and unalive yourself, okay? Hey, boo-boo. Come downstairs. Okay. Hey. You're painting? Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll be downstairs, okay? Okay. Okay, you can hang it up here. Dad just needs a few more minutes, okay? All right, chat. We're in speed mode now. Let's go. All right, so that's vehicle keybinds. Again, let me know if you want to see more stuff on that. We can do separate videos for that. Same thing for pitch, dirt bike, etc. Oh, that might be why it doesn't... oh, no, it's already there. Yeah. Glider, same thing. So you have throttle response for glider. You can increase or decrease throttle. You can pitch up. Obviously, you fly the glider around. Have videos for that. Vehicle seat. Again, let me know if you want a video specific for vehicles. But I have keybinds for that. So Shift W is front seat. E is seat 2. Q is seat 3. And then I don't have keybinds memorized for all those, but those are there. Control and the seat key. Spectate. I don't think anybody needs to see spectate keys. That's kind of whatever. I mean, I'll leave this in the video if you want to just pause and look at whatever option you want. This is an important one here. In inventory character render, if you have this enabled, that means your character is going to show up here. If you have it disabled, though, it saves a lot of resources in your computer. So if you're finding that your computer is drastically reducing in your FPS every time you open your inventory, if it's very glitchy and that kind of stuff, turn the character render option off and it will stop that from happening. You can turn colorblind mode on or off to change the colors in the map and in the game. Crosshairs, you can change your color for that. Weapon slot HUD, you can enable, disable, whatever. Map zoom sensitivity, blah, blah. Saturation, I have yes to make it a little bit easier to see. Dynamic zoom, you can turn the on or off. Mine's disabled. Kill feed limit, you can limit how much stuff is displayed in your kill feed up here. Mine limits to 7. I think it's probably the default. Whatever, no big deal. Hide nicknames in the kill feed, you can enable that if you don't want anyone's name to come up. Maybe streamers only have that, I don't know. Disable interaction target highlight. Personal preference here. It enable or disables the highlighting of interactable objects. Compass background is on to help it easier seeing the background. On-screen guide is turned off. It's Alt-K. Loot flash effect, you can have it as glow or pulse. I just have mine on glow. Personal preference. Whisper is enabled. Whatever. Okay. Free look interpolation. So that's going to be holding the Alt key to look around. I have that enabled. TPP camera position. You can change that to whatever you want here for your preference. Mine's just defaulted to right shoulder. Auto reload. That is if you are out of ammo. When you get to 0, if I were to hit left click to shoot, it's going to automatically reload my gun for me. So when you get to 0, you left click, it's going to go, hey, CDome, you don't have any bullets left. We're going to reload your gun for you. If you have that option turned off, it won't automatically reload for you, okay? Default fire modes for handguns, full auto, because every handgun is single fire except for the Glock and the Scorpion, right? So I want those to be full auto. SMGs, full auto. ARs, full auto. Secondary default fire mode for ARs. I have it on burst. That's for the M16 and Mutant. That would be defaulting those to burst mode. Default fire mode for DMRs, full auto. That's for the VSS and the Mark 14. I want those when I pick them up out of the crate to go full auto. Shotguns, full auto. That's for the the O12 shotgun, I guess, right? Full auto. Auto equip attachments with interaction key. I have that enabled. I went over all this stuff in my inventory loot guide video about 2 months ago, so I'll link that down below, but you can just copy all my settings here if you'd like. I go into grave detail on why those are important in that video. I'll link it down below, or if you're watching this, you can just go search CDome PUBG loot guide. That'll come up a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago. Hide helmet vest. This is all just for you, not for enemies. Live stream screens is just for you for in-game stuff. Action queuing, definitely turn this on. This is honestly probably deserves its whole own video. Turn this on. The whole video could explain that. Turn that on. Recommended ammo, I say yes, just because the game will put a little ping and say, hey, this is ammo for the weapon you have in your hand. Same thing for equipment. Hey, you could use this. You have room for it. Attachments. Hey, your gun doesn't have an attachment slot filled yet. This attachment will fit. Enable that. Delay exit from moving vehicles. Could be very, very important to save your life if you get in trouble with jumping out of a car prematurely, okay? So if you are in a car and you hit the exit key, if that setting is disabled, you're jumping right out, dude. You're ejectocito, cuz you're dead. You can kill yourself. If you have that enabled, so if you go to your settings and you go to where's that function? Enable this. Then a message is going to pop up. It's going to go, hey, dum-dum, are you sure you want to jump out of this moving vehicle? So it says delay exiting. Whoa. Delay exiting vehicle. It gives you a chance to hit the F key to cancel getting out of the car. Otherwise, you're still going to get out of the car in 3 seconds, okay? That's just to save you from accidentally hitting your ejectocito cuz key. I have this delay or disabled because I like to do the C4 play where I, ghost ride a whip with a C4, or I jump out of a glider like in an instant. I like it disabled, but it does help if you jump out of your vehicle a lot. Auto equip regular skins. I have it enabled. That means whatever my default skin is equipped, when I get into it, it's going to apply that skin for me. I could also hit H to, well, okay, it won't work right here, but I could hit H to change the vehicle skin if I had a vehicle skin for this vehicle. I know you guys heard my daughter. She wants me to rock and roll. If there's anything I didn't cover and you guys want to know about, this is a great time to let me know. Comments down below. Give me a message. See them cover this next. Add this, whatever. Again, none of this stuff that I do is like, hey, be a pro and do what I do. Some of the stuff I do is probably detrimental to my gameplay. It's just so it's comfortable for me. That's what I would recommend for you guys. Chat, if you guys enjoyed the guide, leave a like, thumbs up, share with the buddy. Comments down below about what your different keybinds are. If you use anything different, maybe I'll pick up on some tips, or some of the community members can use what you use. And yeah, thanks for watching.